Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 4, day 1 of our Helios League here at Friend or Foe Esports. Kicking off the night with an exhibition match between Pentakill Teemo Please and In the Trees. That rhymed. Unfortunately, players on the side of PTP were unable to make it to lock-ins tonight, so the result of this game will ultimately go over as a win to INT. However, that doesn't stop the action. Here we have in store for you today. On the blue side, we have PTP, and on the red side, we have INT. I'm excited to cast these games for you tonight, and I'm sure my co-caster is as well. My name is Whirler, and casting alongside me tonight, we have Rap Terror.
That was a beautiful entry. Thank you.
I try.
Yeah, I was excited for these games today, you know. And yeah, it's just a show match, but outside of missing their top laner, like this is basically the starting lineup for PTP. So, you know, it's nice to see how they can handle it with just that core already against INT, especially, you know, INT being one of the top teams in this league. I think it'll be really exciting, and already I'm seeing some, I think, interesting draft picks, or at least bans.
Mm-hmm. I would have to agree, the Zyra and the Anivia being taken off the table looks like a couple stabs at a certain role swap we have, especially the Anivia. Now that Let's Do Vanal is in the mid lane now, no longer bot laner that you all know. And another thing that we can also look at, as Tristana is taken off the table for Graviel, we have Theracles in the top lane. You guys know and love Theracles, and I'm excited to see him play in the top lane today. What do you think?
I'm excited to see how he does. I don't think I've actually ever seen him play top lanes, so this should be pretty interesting. I'm hoping we get something cool out of him. I'm trying to think of what would be a fun top laner to see Theracles on.
Honestly, any top laner I'd be happy with seeing Theracles play, if I'm being very honest with you. As Hecarim is being locked in for Pentakill Teemo Please, looking to go in the jungle.
Ooh, I'm hoping to see something in these picks and bans. It's too early to assume we're going to see it now, but I've been hearing rumors of Tryndamere mid, and that it's actually really effective, and that pros are starting to play it. I don't know if anybody saw the Reddit thread earlier about Doinby saying it might be like Lee Sin was earlier this season, so I kind of hope we see that. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if these are the teams I would expect to pull it out, but it's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on to see if teams are trying out some interesting and unique picks to kind of separate themselves from the rest of the pack at this point in the season.
Mm-hmm. I would have to agree. Tryndamere mid on paper does not sound good at all. However, neither did Lee Sin mid a long time ago, and here we are today. So if it can work, then I would love to see it myself. I mean, Tryndamere, like his kit sort of makes sense in terms of matchups in the mid lane. He kind of wins a lot of 1v1s against a lot of the current mid lane meta champions. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did come into popularity as we see in solo queue in the coming days as Janna's being locked in. That's something we haven't seen in a very long time. This poor champion.
I'm getting nervous every time I see a Janna. It's right before a nerf, so that makes me a little nervous. But I do like to watch Janna. Janna was one of the first supports I ever learned to play, so I have a very solid idea of how you should play Janna and what you should be doing as Janna. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on Cyborg Skull this game, see how he performs.
Oh, as Vayne is going to be locked in for Pentakill Teemo Please. I have my doubts that is a Vayne mid. However, I would not be shocked if that was the case, considering who it would be piloting it in the mid lane. Definitely something to look at as we go into here. It could be used as a flex pick between these two players on Pentakill Teemo Please. Once again, would not be surprised. Also, but at the same time, I have my doubts looking at the kind of comp they're sort of drafting so far. Janna and Hecarim by themselves, I would say, is a decent combo. Just with Janna's free movement speed, giving Hecarim that little bit of AD that he could so use to spiral his lead into something great. As speaking of spiraling leads, we have a League of Draven coming in, and it's not Jeff God Gamer piloting it.
Ooh, that's exciting. I mean, we as we just had the patch the other day, this means that we're on the patch with the Draven ult buff. So if he hits a target with his ultimate and they have less health than the number of stacks he has, he'll automatically execute them. So I'm going to be I think I'll be watching for that too. I think that'll be kind of funny to watch, like someone thinking they're just safe, like, oh, it doesn't have enough damage, and it's getting blown up from the execute damage. that'll be kind of interesting to see if that changes how Kenny Hammerspike plays the Draven, but I think it's a good pick. They do have a lot of catch potential in the bot lane, especially with the Nautilus and the Sejuani that can easily set up for the Draven. And I think that's why PTP picked the Janna, because it didn't matter what AD carry you picked. The Janna is going to be able to at least buy time, especially if they're running Vayne bot lane. Going to be able to buy that space, going to be able to buy a moment, give her the shield, give her the heal, and just kind of keep her safe in a lane that could otherwise be very difficult for the Vayne. She does have a pretty short range. She is one of the shortest range AD carries. So I think this will be good. And assuming, like you said, that Vayne is in bot lane, though again, could be flexed mid, it'll be interesting. Though if they do pick another AD carry bot lane, I would be excited to see what they're going to pair with it. Because if you're taking a Janna, you're almost certainly taking a hyper carry.
I would have to agree. Janna isn't really one of those champions that likes to scale with an AD carry. It's more one of those ramp them up. I mean, I could see Janna more with a Draven than I can with a Vayne. However, I cannot see Janna with like a champion as such as Jinx. That's a little. It's a little bit of a counterintuitive lane, wanting to have a lot of pressure early, being the Janna, and then Jinx can respond with pressure. However, it's not all too ideal, especially in certain matchups where other AD carries kind of just out damage you early. Speaking of out damaging early, we got some true damage here on the side of In the Trees. More beef behind in front of this Draven.
Yeah, Cho'Gath, very good frontline. So this is definitely a protect the Draven kind of comp. I would expect to see maybe an Orianna come out of INT next, just to give a little bit of extra shielding or something for the Draven. The Kled, good pickup, I think, into the Cho'Gath. You know, he can duel very well early on. And, you know, late game with the ultimate and the massive shield he gets from that, he could be pretty devastating to deal with. And it's going to be Corki in the mid, so that is going to be Vayne in the AD carry position.
Which is definitely not a flex pick in this case scenario. I don't think Corki would fare well against Draven at all in the bot lane, or any other AD carry, I would imagine. Corki kind of just gets outlaned in the bot lane, although it is viable. It's just not that good. With that being said, Theracles, we get to see the champion he's pulling out this game. He's on the Kled. And I'm excited to see this one because I've seen him, I believe it was the game that I was in the staff match we had. One of the two teams had a Kled, and watching Theracles cast that specifically was a blessing and a half. With that being said, Yone is going to be the final pick for In the Trees. They took their time with this comp, and I already see one surefire sign. If you are Pentakill Teemo, please. In the Trees have a lot of physical damage, and I mean a lot of physical damage coming out here.
Yeah, both their carries are entirely AD based, so armor will be really effective between the Hecarim and the Kled. I think INT's comp is going to be absolutely brutal in the late game to deal with. You've got 3 massive tanks. You've got a mid laner that wants to dive right onto you to try to pick off targets, and you've got the Draven there for the backline. So it's really solid a choice. My one concern is that the with a Kled, a Hecarim, and a Corki, you can get to that backline and that Draven, no problem. There's almost nothing you can do on the side of INT except maybe block Kled ultimate to stop that. Like, Corki's going to package in, Hecarim's going to ult in, and if they get on top of Draven, he's basically guaranteed dead. There is no defensive option for this Draven. There's no Janna, there's no Soraka, there's nothing there that can provide him a shield or maybe pull him out like a Tahm Kench. So it's going to be on the rest of his team to be able to buy the space and kind of keep him separated from those two and maybe try to pick one off before a fight starts that he can at least just have a 1v1, which might be a bit easier. But it's also about getting the Draven ahead, because as we know, if Draven gets behind, it sucks. It really, really sucks.
Definitely so. I've had my fair share of those kinds of Draven games, and I can tell you up front, it is one of the worst experiences to have as an AD carry, because you get the normal AD carry experience where you just can't play the game, but add on to the fact that it's a slap in the face because you're Draven, and you cannot get your passive. You cannot get the damage you need to win these fights. It becomes so close and a little frustrating when you're just that close to getting your adoration stacks, but you lose the 1v1. And I think this was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago when they made this change, but now you don't lose half. You lose 75% of your adoration stacks on death, and it is detrimental. if that ever happens, especially in the later parts of lane where you have, say you have like no kills, 150 stacks, and it's like 5 minutes. You're getting ready to like get that one kill, and it all goes downhill from there. But that being said, we're kicking off the lane pretty evenly so far. With the range in the mid lane, Cork is able to pick himself up a sustainable CS lead for now, as Yone is just looking to get as much as he can get out of this lane. Hook is down on the side of Nautilus, but they're going for a couple auto attacks on two of them as they do hit level 2 first. And Hook connecting on to Vanal. It is actually Graviel mid on the Corki. So Vanal is playing the Vayne main. We are seeing it in the flesh, but good trades coming out from the Draven. It's going to be enough to get them a nice start to this lane.
Yeah, that would almost look like he was facing the other direction, so I'm not gonna fault Vanal for that, not knowing that Hook was just gonna come while he's walking the other way, because usually, you know, Nautilus turns around there. But they've got a lot of damage on them, and that's the one downside to early game with Janna is level 1. You're probably not, you don't have your shield, so, or your Q. You're probably honestly running W. I know that might be controversial for some people, but it's her best poke ability. It's guaranteed damage. The slow is great, but oh, mid lane.
Oh, we got a level 2 Nautilus roam here. There are 3 members of the side of INT ganking this Corki, and that's a knock-up into knock-up, and that is going to be rest in peace for Mr. Corki. That is first blood going to the side of In the Trees. Very, very well played from those 3 members. As Greyhawk gets himself a crab for the troubles, and a TP coming in from Corki to help Bo, or to make Bo explode, start to walk away. But Theracles coming in probably with the bear trap on a rope. But Broccoli with the Cho'Gath Q knock him right up. He's going to be going down. Graviel is looking for more. His member went down. He's outnumbered. He's forced to flash here. Oh, but Sejuani and Brock Lee flash after him, land the knockup, and that is going to be another kill going to In the Trees. Corki on repeat death. And we got Hecarim going down as well. That's going to be 3-kill lead for In the Trees.
That is an absolutely devastating one. So the mid lane play, I think Graviel was a little too trigger happy with the W, you know, just trying to get out of there. A little bit too early. Didn't have the, well, he had the flash, but he just wasn't able to get over the wall, gets bounce house around. And, you know, that was a good enough play for INT. And PTP, the teleport coming back in, it looked like a great idea. Go on to Bo, go on to Broccoli, easy gank. But I don't know if you noticed, the Corki failed to get over the wall. It looked like he W'd and didn't make it over, or at least tried to flash, because I saw him like jerk forward. So he just didn't make it over, which then messes up the entire play for them. And from there, it's just the collapse from the turnaround from INT, taking out Greyhawk, and then it's just free kills after that. The Corki's already tried to escape. He's got nothing left. And now with the teleport burn, like, he's down 10 CS, he's down a kill at this point, but he's gonna have a rough time, especially at least the kills, 2 of them are on the tanks, but I mean, Cho'Gath and Sejuani getting to their tank items fast is just going to be a nightmare for this.
Especially with the fact of the XP that Graviel lost from this. I believe it was at least 2, maybe 3 waves. I'd have to look back on that one. But that's so much XP lost. And Yone only losing at maximum 1 wave. Being, I would assume to be a level and maybe some change up on Corki, who needs to get into this game to scale. And Corki does not have too much of that going for him at this moment, as Yone is just taking a good lead so far in the mid lane.
Yeah, and a big credit to the Nautilus for roaming. Like, that roam was super good. That's what really set them up, and it all started from that hook in the bot lane. Catching Vanal, forcing him and Cyborg Skull to back up, and then just getting a free roam up. Like, now that they were pushed under the turret, he gets a free roam up, catches Graviel. It's smart macro decisions like that that really are what help INT stay at the top of this league. They're a very solid macro team, and I think so far, like, PTP is gonna have to dig deep. Yeah, it's just an exhibition match, but you know, you want to have it for the confidences. You want to say, hey, we can beat this team with a sub, especially as you know you head towards playoffs later, or at least the second round robin, and you know, just getting like tossed around and getting outplayed micro and macro can be pretty devastating for mental. So I want to see PTP try to make some kind of just big plays, or just try to force a play in a position that INT will not be expecting it, to try to claw their way back into this game. I think that's going to be the key to this for them.
And after taking a bad trade in the mid lane, Corki forcing to back again, putting him down 20 CS, hasn't even hit level 6 yet. And I do believe Yone is at least close to level 7, which is very, very bad for him. If Delta is able to get some roams around and start causing pressure with this lead he has, this could spell trouble for PTP. As for INT, in the bot lane, this is exactly what I was talking about with the Draven. He's ramping up very slowly, probably has somewhat about, I would say, 150 stacks, if not somewhat close to it, if we can take a look at that. Definitely not looking too bad for Kenny Hammerspike. If he gets a kill, that sets him up superb, as this bot lane is looking much more intense. We got Bo Explode off to the side. He's got the 6. Is he going to be able to engage this one? The stun lands on Cyborg Skull. Hook to follow it up, and here comes the damage. Kenny Hammerspike is just one auto away. The Janus shield is enough to take it out, as well as the Guardian. So Janus shield and Guardian keeping him alive, preventing Kenny Hammerspike from getting that lead. Very well played by Cyborg Skull. Almost got it, but once again, not quite there.
Yeah, I thought he was a little late on the tornado. I think you set it up early to try to force the Sejuani to go in a different direction, or at least force Nautilus out of position so he can't just hit you with the hook. But that was really good use of the shield. It was good that he burned the flash, but he didn't waste much else. And they got the flash from Kenny out of it for him trying to dive the tower. They got Bo Explode's ultimate. They got Kenny's ultimate. So that's a lot for nothing on the side of INT. And, it's nice that Cyborg Skull knew, like, okay, like, it's, even though, like, he didn't use the tornado earlier, that he knew, hey, it's okay if I get caught. I have a shield. I have ways to get out of this. It's fine. Yeah, I think that was good. I think overall that's good for PTP. It kind of stemmed the bleeding a bit, stopped them from just giving over another 2 kills, because I think if Janna went down, they were going to immediately dive onto that vein. But, with Janna still up, Tornado having a low cooldown, Shield coming back with a low cooldown, would have been pretty disastrous. So overall, good play from the PTP bot lane.
Definitely so. And Sejuani, despite using the ultimate, despite all the resources put into the bot lane, was not contested on the Mountain Dragon. And with 3 members of INT wanting that that tankiness, having a Mountain Dragon is going to spiral that in ways that I don't think PTP want to see. They do have a Vayne, which is very good at keeping tanks in check. However, I feel like with Mountain Drake, it just really shuts down the rest of the team.
Yeah, and I think it's actually almost, looking at it now, I think it's more like 2 tanks, because that Sejuani is going AP. She's got Sork Shoes. She's kind of building towards, I'm guessing it's going to be a Proto Belt, but I'm not exactly sure on that. Could be Night Harvester, but it definitely is going for a more damage heavy build. Try to balance out the, hey, we got 2 AD, we're gonna need some AP here, but Raviel? Oh, okay.
Definitely, just going for the package. Definitely a good thing to point out there, as Sejuani does have the magic boots and the hex tech ready to go for this AP build. Delta getting a good knockup on Graviel. This is going to be a good trade for Delta. 2 Qs and a couple auto attacks with the W, and then the E back is going to solidify that trade to be even more in his favor. We got 2 members going on the Rift Herald right now. Cho'Gath almost taking it away. Theracles coming in hot on Brock Lee. Brock Lee taking a kill on to Greyhawk, however.
Oh.
He's going to be able to flash out and stay alive. Graviel off to the side. This is a little weird for him. Wing out of the Yone knockup, but it's not going to be enough. The boots movement speed that Yone has picked up, along with the old Warlord's passive, is going to give him enough movement speed to run towards him at the speed of light with the Q and get himself 2 kills for that fight.
Yeah, PTP is looking like they're playing a little bit scared right there. Once Cho'Gath gets in, and he tries to ult, and you've already hang.
We got a Sejuani ult once again in the bot lane. Kenny Hammerspike cashing in. That's 400 gold in his pocket, and in the addition to the extra 300 from the kill. And Graviel TP to the bot lane did get hooked already at half. However, Jeff is going to be going down. Bo Explode going to fall right behind him. Good counter gank from Greyhawk to make that even more in their favor. Draven getting a lot of gold in his pocket, but Greyhawk picking up a double kill to settle the score.
Yeah, there's a lot to break down right there, and Theracles might die right here.
No, buddy. So unfortunate. It goes into the mouth of Cho'Gath.
Nom nom the Yordles. They're the Yordle chips. I'll call them Yordle chips. Anyways, there was a lot to break down from what went there. I'm going to start first by saying there was the execution I was looking for Kenny with the Draven, like I said in when we were loading into this. Draven ultimate has the execute now, and he used it there perfectly to finish him off. Gets his stacks cashed in. Gets Vanal.
Uh-oh, Vayne going for a trade onto the Draven. Has to condemn to push him back out. Doesn't have the flash anymore. Has to flash the hook. Is going to be able to live this time around. However, Kenny Hammerspike, with that extra kill he got, hasn't spent anything just yet. However, the damage is coming through, and Vanal is not able to get these trades off of himself, as that was more or less Nautilus's pressure. I mean, great hook from him to force the flash out of Vanal. Gives Draven the advantage as his flash is coming up in just a few seconds. So let's see what bot lane can do with this lead as we head into the mid game.
Yeah, it's just fight after fight right now in this mid game. You know, I want to see where not Greyhawk, Theracles has it. I want to see where he drops. Actually, they both already dropped it. They already dropped Shelly. I didn't see where they dropped it at.
I believe they dropped it in, looking at the platings, it's either bot or top. I don't know if, I believe, that's honestly a good question.
I think it was top. He's got 3. That might explain why he was so far forward. Graviel.
Graviel is not in a good situation here. Good ulti from Sejuani to solidify that kill into the Yone ult, and that's going to be Graviel going down for a 4th time. Scrambled 420 is his score, with almost 50 CS down here at 13 minutes.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Graviel this game. They are just picking on him right now, and it's not like, I mean, Corki will scale up into it, but, you know, giving kills over the Yone, you're giving more to this AP Sejuani. Cho'Gath's got a couple on him now, too. These are champions that, like, they're going to scale, like, even if they're not buying straight damage, like the case of the Cho'Gath, they're still going to be threatening. In the case of Yone, he's going to hit his late game power spike so quickly, and it's going to be so hard to deal with him, because he can almost semi-tank because of his shield on his W. So he, or I guess more of a duelist. Like he can be basically a mini duelist, maybe bruiser, and just get into that team and just start hacking away at Vanal, start hacking away at Cyborg Skull. It's a rough position right now for PTP. They're down 7k gold almost, fighting to try to get these, you know, these scaling champions to that point where they can actually come online and be effective. I think Corki will be better now that he has the Manamune done. He's got to wait for that transformation to Muramana, and then he'll be in a pretty solid spot. It's, you know, the downside starting with tears, you don't get any damage, any health, but I think though those kills that got earlier, I think that does help. They did get them on the Hecarim, who is someone who does very well with kills and gold. He can snowball pretty hard if you get him enough of them. Too early on, especially, it's pretty solid, but you know, he's down right now. And Kenny
going for the Eclipse build first item, and I'm interested to see this one. I have not seen it before, indeed. Eclipse on the Draven. Greyhawk's taking back his blue, has 5 members here total, 6 actually, as one of them goes down. Bow Explode taken down as Graviel is starting to do some damage here, forcing Brock Lee out. That's going to be 2 of them in trade for the blue buff. Jeff and Bow Explode taking the L for that one, and Corki slowly getting back into this game here as Delta's going for more. Good knock-up on Graviel, and now things are looking normal as Yone takes the pace. Got the Gore Drinker. That's a different kind of build that I haven't seen before on Yone. But 3-0 so far, and with a lead like that, got to solidify it somehow. Very good on him.
Yeah, it's actually unfortunate that Graviel, and Greyhawk.
I don't know if Greyhawk's getting out of this one alive, as the E from Delta is just going to pull him right back out of tower range. That's some good damage on Hecarim, and that's going to be a kill for him. Kenny Hammerspike forced to flash out of this one. Still has the heal, so he has some form of resource. Brock Lee getting some good damage on Theracles as Delta looking to dive him.
Yeah.
We have exactly... No, there's not going to be a dive. There shouldn't be a dive here. Delta would be crazy to do this. He has Scarl still. Tanking the tower, forcing to take the E back immediately. Good pull from Theracles to keep Brock Lee under tower. He's still tanking, but Delta coming in high, and that's going to be the Nom Nom right into his belly. Brock Lee with even more kills than he had before. 4-0.
And this Cho'Gath's going AP too. I think. Oh,
it's not over just yet. Bow Explode come to the bot lane. Cyborg Skull taking the 3rd ulti in a row, and he gets the kill. But he's going to give one over to Greyhawk on the Hecarim, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
You can tell this is definitely fun when your Sejuani and your Cho'Gath are both building full AP. Uh, and
Definitely
it's
so.
it's definitely rough. I think it's good that PTP got those kills. You know, they're starting to fight back a little bit, trying to get something. The gold lead has ballooned a bit, but you know, getting some gold under your belt still good. I mean, not letting this game just you completely run away with. I kind of honestly wish that Graviel hadn't got that kill earlier because getting the kill reset is gold value, so just immediately gave Yone more gold than if he had just not gotten the kill in the first place when he died. But that's an unfortunate. Like I wasn't expecting this to come happen later, so I can't blame him for that. But that was a great package he had. You know, just right across that bush by blue buff, forcing both Jeff and Bow Explode to have to walk over it to get out and just eating damage. It was very smart play there, and Cho'Gath now has no flash.
Forced a flash out of there as Greyhawk is coming to take his Riptail back, but this is a Cho'Gath, so we cannot eliminate the fact that this could be a steal. However, Brock Lee not there in time, but they're going to fight it. Knock up on a Greyhawk after the ulti is not going to be enough to really stop him, as Brock Lee is just taking this game by storm. Theracles are going to lose Scarl here to Delta, as Delta's off in the backline as Graviel forced to jump away there with the Valkyrie. Draven almost taking out Graviel from cross map. That almost hit him. That was almost so good. Bow Explode is not giving up on this one, though. Smiting for almost no reason. Delta getting some more on to Graviel. Not quite going to get him, as Let's Do Vanal is going to pick up Bow Explode for free under the tower. A little greedy by the side of INT. And Let's Do Vanal is going to pick up the freebies.
Yeah, but 30 kills for one, I'd say that's pretty worth it. It does look like, yeah, PTP did grab the Herald, at least so good for them, but you know, I have a favorite song, and it's called Delta, and they talk about crossing Delta, and PTP made the mistake of doing just that right there. He just tore through their team, and they couldn't do anything to him.
Definitely so. 4-0 and 4 right now, almost worth 1,000 gold. Finished the call. He has so much gold under his belt that it is not even funny anymore. As Ocean Drake has come up, third Drake of the game. Both of them have gone over to the side of INT. Let's see if they can get themselves soul point. But all the members of PTP are grouped down. INT slowly following down as Theracles does not have TP and he is in the top lane at the current moment. Let's see where this fight can go.
Yeah, I think they're just going to give this up. There's really no way they can test without Theracles especially, and now
Vanal is getting taken almost to half by the Delta combo. Delta not going to pick up anything on that, just getting some mindless poke as we are getting ourselves a free soul point for In the Trees, and they're going to take it to the mid lane, and Flash ulti from Bow Explode is going to get Garaviel very low. Cyborg Skull taking a low as well, as Bow Explode 1 HP himself. He's going to have to be in a sticky situation as Greyhawk could not find the kill. Is going to go down to the CC chain that In the Trees does have drafted for themselves. Kenny Hammerspike pumping out damage more and more as the Lethality Draven is looking pretty good. Flash hook into a minion. Bow Explode is tanking the tower. They're going to trade that. Vanal goes down and Bow Explode goes down to the tower, but they pick themselves up that inner tower shortly after. Kenny Hammerspike looking for more, not going to find it. Are they going to push this wave up and go for more? They don't really have the timers to do so, but you never know with these teams.
Yeah, that was so close onto Bo. It looked like they had caught Graviel and like he was just dead to rights, but you know, Bo going a little bit too far ahead of his team. They couldn't catch up to him in time, and Cyborg Skull bought some great space for him. It's so unfortunate they weren't able to quite finish off the kill onto Bo. I think that would have been a nice little bit of gold in their pocket. He's not the one with the shutdown right now. That's going to be, you know, it's going to be Broccoli, it's going to be Delta, it's going to be Kenny, but gold is gold at this point, and when you're down 12,000 gold, you need every little bit you can get. And losing a turret like that, losing two members, it just makes it hard. It's getting to a very difficult situation and position for the side of PTP. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to come back from this one.
It is looking pretty grim so far for Pentakill Teemo, please. Theracles grouping in the mid lane. Delta is alone under tower at the current moment. No friends to really help him in this situation as he takes the E back and is going to be fine for now, but I don't think his tower will be. As the Rift Herald is on, Shelly is looking for a mid tower, and I think Shelly's going to get it. And that's an extra 1,000 gold to help close the gap so far, only down 11k now. But it is going to not really matter too much. The gold lead is immense at the current moment. It is hard for PTP to get back into this game, but it is not impossible. Cho'Gath, full AP. What do you feel about this Cho'Gath build?
I mean, he does have really solid AP ratios, and at this point with the Vayne, you know, not really getting into anything right now, and like just having so much health from all those ults, there's really no reason to build that tankiness, at least not yet. Maybe you go for a I don't know, maybe like a Warmogs later, just because you have enough health, you can just proc it and get that passive going. But the full AP, I think, is smart. You just flash ult and immediately kill either Graviel or Vayne. You'll have that much damage. There's nothing that you can really do about it. So I think it's good. I think also, you know, Sejuani's got some decent AP ratio, so that's working for her too. Just across the board, I think it was a bait with the tank. I think they baited them with those tanks to make them think that, hey, we're gonna be going heavy tank. You're gonna need something like a Vayne to shred through us. But if they're not tanky, that extra 2 damage as opposed to just another carry with more range and maybe something else they can bring to a fight, it's not as useful. Especially with all the CC on the side of INT. The hope is clearly, like, you're hoping these are tanky. You're hoping you can just shred through them. They're not going to be big damage sources. You just kill Delta and Kenny and you can fight. Without that, though, like, I don't know. I feel like Vayne doesn't offer anywhere comparable value to the Draven, but that's something that's hard to predict because generally those are tanks. Those, you're not building them AP, but yeah, it's a fun game, so gotta have fun with it.
I do agree, although while I was watching that Baron, I'm noticing some problems here in the Sejuani build. Almost taken out by the Baron, was taken very low from it. So the lack of resistances on Sejuani's side is biting her in the butt a little bit. However, the damage has been coming through in these fights, and despite being the majority of the deaths on the side of INT, each of those deaths has either resulted in a trade kill or something worth.
Yeah, you know, that Sejuani, even in this form, is super tanky for the first 2 seconds, and then once the passive falls off, it's just, you just become super squishy. So I guess that's what she's kind of going for, is like, hey, I can engage for the first couple seconds. If I don't get the kill, I can just walk out. We'll be fine. I do agree, like, they are getting a lot. They're definitely making value. For every time they die, they get like 2 kills back out of it. So it's going well. Kenny looking like he really wants to dive onto Vayne right here.
And Graviel off to the side to hopefully support this, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Graviel doesn't have the utility to help Banal here, as Jeff is going to pick up the ulti and going to pick up the Vayne, and Sejuani coming in with that damage. Goodness gracious, Graviel cannot play this game.
That's a lot of damage right there. They need some flex tape for themselves to patch the wounds they're going to be feeling after this one right now. It's 15k down for PTP. I guess 15k up for
Ooh, Flash Q coming on the Cyborg Skull. Bow Explode going to be taken very low, but a knockup on the John is going to initiate this fight. Theracles taken very low. Tower going to take out Bow Explode, and damage coming out from Kenny Hammer Spike to solidify this kill. It's going to be a trade kill in that regards. 4th Dragon of the game. That's Ocean Soul soloed by Cho'Gath himself. They're going to get themselves a bot lane inhibitor. Let's see if they can kite themselves out of this fight. As Theracles running up with the bear trap on the rope, looking to get Kenny Hammer Spike, but it's going to be all for naught. 1 inhib down, and Soul completed.
Yeah, now we're just waiting for INT to just close this game out. Ocean Soul, your carries are all, everyone on your team except maybe the Sejuani are super fed. Like, there's, you would basically, you're just basically waiting at this point. If you're PTP, you're hoping they close it out soon, not dragging it out and just breaking your mental. And you know, this is why INT is at the top of the league. They're very solid in their play. Even if they do something weird, they have a plan around it. Their macro is pretty immaculate for a team in these leagues, and they have good micro too. They work so well as a unit. And I'm thinking right now, like, it's between them and 2 other teams right now at the top of the standings. But
there's some more action going on, as Delta is not done at all. Ulti onto 2. Greyhawk is going to go down as well. Kenny Hammerspike picking that up with the Whirling Death. That is very good for them. That's 2 kills picked up. They don't have Baron anymore, but they have Ocean Soul, and they have reason to push into this base further, as Kenny Hammerspike brings up the mid wave.
Yeah, they say not to beat a dead horse, but I mean, his beat down hacker. I mean, I guess he is an undead horse, but it's
They say don't beat a dead horse, but this dead horse has been dead 7 times over.
yeah,
Oh, good ulti on a cyborg skull. That's gonna initiate another fight, but Folkspood is not tanky whatsoever under the Nexus tower. And he's gonna go down here. Valkyrie onto 2. Kenny Hammerspike gonna be taking the half, but he is not too mad about that as another kill on the Janna comes through. Kenny Hammerspike gonna flash over the wall and get us some more damage on Graviel. Graviel taking it very low. He's not gonna go down though. Greyhawk jumping on to Kenny Hammerspike. It's looking like he's gonna go down here, but good CC chains coming out from the team of INT to keep him alive as long as he could. Flash ulti from Brock Lee to get his vengeance, and that is gonna be a good fight coming from INT. Losing the Draven, good teamwork, avenging his death. Delta gonna keep Graviel from having the back, giving his team more time to get some more things done in the base, and they're going to look to take a Nexus tower and possibly end this game.
Yeah, I feel like Delta didn't need to chase him off. I don't think they should really be that scared of the Corki, especially once he's used package. There's not really much else he can do, especially against with that front line. So they're not going to end it right here, but they are going to at least grab another inhibitor, or actually, they might try to.
Graviel taken very low. Delta is looking for more here in this. As Greyhawk is up once again. Delta getting some damage onto 2 before going back to his E. Vanal back alive. This could be the tank shredder we need to get those health bars low, as they are just running amok in their base. Kenny Hammerspike is back on the map, rolling death on the Graviel, taking him to half for a 3rd time in a minute. Delta is on Theracles. Theracles having to run away from that one, but an ulti from Delta to get onto the Let's Do Vanal is not going to connect, and Vanal's going to condemn out. This is looking like a mess, and it's looking like they're going to be able to end this game, ladies and gentlemen. That's game 1 of the night. Going to In the Trees.
Yeah, good game from In the Trees. They just absolutely had this game under control from the very beginning. Even when they died, everything was still going their way. Congratulations to them. And this is again, just isn't PTP starting lineup, because they are missing their top laner, and I feel he has some solid play and solid influence on their macro and their shot calling, but it is a rough game to start the week on for them, and hopefully they'll bounce back tomorrow.
Definitely so. I mean, it's never over here. Pentacle Teemo, please. I've seen their gameplay a lot. They are a team who can definitely come together, so I don't think this will set them back too much. It was an exhibition match after all, so not too much on the line for them. They did have to forfeit this game once again if you're just joining us. PTP looking to sort of get themselves together. Hopefully we will see them in the coming days and see them thrive as we head on into the series. We got In the Trees taking a game for themselves and winning the exhibition match. Very well played and good picks coming from them. I definitely like the AP Cho'Gath and the AP Sedge coming out. That looked very fun to see. A very good game to start off the night. Don't go anywhere, because coming soon we will have an interview with our winners, and we will see you for game 2 in a bit. Don't go anywhere.
Hello everyone, Chris Edgeworth here for the interview after our first match of the day, a little show match between PTP and In the Trees. I am joined by Broccoli 900, top laner from In the Trees. How you feeling, Brock?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. We start off the day. It was a little rough to get the notification last minute that it was gonna be a forfeit. But I believe, as you were saying, you folks already had this draft sorted out before it was even, game given to you, and we're just playing a show match. What were your thoughts on the draft that you folks had put together and what you were up against?
I mean, to be completely honest, we didn't prepare that much for today because a lot of us have been like super busy. We kind of just went in and just picked safe champs, comfort champs for everybody. That's why you see like the classic Sejuani, this classic Nautilus. But then after they told us that it was just gonna be a show match because they forfeited, we were like, oh well, let's just make it a little more fun. We'll play like troll builds, just to spice it up a little bit. So
yeah, Nautilus had a excellent mixed damage build, which I respect. You don't want to have to overload too much on a single damage profile. He built the Yomus, built the Zhonyas. That's really what you would like to see from your supports. They have that aggression. They're able to run up with the quick Yomus, and then they just, turn gold on them just to flex. So, it says some really interesting build paths out here. And
just I do want to get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Let me, but I guess before we talk about you, let me highlight these other builds. So we'll end with you. So we had that spice out of the Nautilus. I guess Kenny's a little bit of a tryhard because this build looks legitimate. So we'll just skip that one. X Delta, he had the full bruiser build, no crit build for the Yone. Interesting. And then we did see this Night Harvester Sejuani with Check's notes here, Horizon focus. So
yes,
I'm guessing, like, if I'm remembering correctly, it procs on his W and his ultimate. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
And then at one point, I'm pretty sure he did one shot somebody. If I'm remembering correctly.
I think so. And then so let's end with you. So you had the full AP Cho'Gath. How did you feel being the scary monster in this matchup?
I mean, it was just kind of funny. I pressed Q and they lose half their health instantly. So
yeah, it's just really good when a tank doesn't build any tank items, just naturally is able to stack that health from the feast, and then sometimes you accidentally click it on a champion and then they just lose half their health to true damage. Just really unlucky for them. So it was really fun to see. I like that you guys put on the ankle weights, going true to the Broccoli or the Rock Lee fashion for Broccoli here.
Yes, sir.
Put those ankle weights on, and we'll wait to see when you guys match up again against the likes of UB or Rex, if you let off the ankle weights and open up your gates. So Broccoli, thank you so much for this interview. Before we step away, any final thoughts?
Nope. Just good luck to all the rest of the teams today.
Good luck in esports, folks. All right. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back soon with our second game of the night, so don't go anywhere, folks.